What is going on, all of you amazing gamers out there in the world? I am Mega Amster. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. And today I wanted to talk about something that came up very recently, kind of out of nowhere, and something that pretty much won't die, and that is the ESA, because they're still around. For those of you who might know, I think it was a little over a year ago, as of now, maybe even 2 years ago. I don't even fully remember. Let me know in the comments. Correct me there. But they shut down E3. Now, Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3, as it used to be known, was a long-running video game show, almost not quite convention. It was started off as a business show, kind of similar like something like a CES, with only like business, like developers, companies in the gaming industry there. Eventually, like media were in there to cover stuff, and then they eventually opened it up to the public, which ultimately led to its downfall. But now, it seems that since that's been shut down, they are bringing back a new, completely different convention. Convention isn't the right word. Conference is probably better. iicon. I believe it stands for Interactive Innovation Conference. So the big question is this a replacement for E3? And the answer is it really depends on how you think of E3. 95% of you watching this video, iicon is not going to be a replacement for E3. It is going to be nothing like the E3 you know. Because E3 really turned into, like I mentioned, it used to be a business, media-focused event. It really turned into this huge kind of show, eventually opened up to the public, and you used to have these companies like Nintendo spearheading it, do these digital presentations, especially during like COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns, but even before then, like we just saw with the PlayStation conference, like in-person big theater conferences. That is not what iicon is setting up to be. So in terms of that, no, this is not going to be a replacement for E3. That's the easy answer, but let's dig into it a little bit here. So here we have the official website. Also, iicon, I'm sorry, terrible name. Can we call it i2con? Can we start that? Hashtag i2con. That's so much easier. Kind of brings back the whole numbering thing with E3. i2con's easier to say. So I'm going to refer to it from here henceforth in this video as i2con. So Interactive Innovation Conference, advancing innovation across culture, business, human connection. Super duper generic. It's going to be starting April 27th to 30th next year. 2026 is when will be the first hosting of this event. So not this year. This year they're taking a break. The ESA is coming together to kind of prepare and then have it next year. So step into the future, a first of its kind event bringing together leaders across the industries to harness the transformative power and literally just generic PR kind of corporate talk. However, interestingly, they already have a lot of companies on board. The big three publishers, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, are already there. Square Enix, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, Take-Two, Epic, EA, Disney, and Amazon Games. And this list is probably going to expand because now that we see, especially the big three publishers being here, I imagine we'll probably see Capcom and SEGA join on board too. I believe this is what's going to be that. Now, the way we can go into it here for a little bit, but the way I've been hearing people talk about this, because this is a few days ago, this was announced as of this recording, a lot of people seem to be comparing it to GDC because it's really going to be strictly for like actual like the businesses, the developers, the executives running these companies. As far as we know, no media is even going to be involved here, and certainly it is not being open to the public. This is totally closed doors. So if anything, if you were, maybe a developer on a team back in the day, like the 90s, early 2000s, I don't know when they started letting media into those events. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe it was for the whole time. This seems to be very much a closed event. And hopefully the ESA has learned to not open this up to the public, because that was ultimately one of the biggest factors of the downfall of E3, was opening it up to the public. Everything became too unsustainable, and then all of a sudden, not that they could have predicted it, but the COVID-19 pandemic hit, everything went all digital for a couple of years, they skipped a couple of years, and then it officially was done. So hopefully, because, developers could use this. Developers, all the publishers too, like the whole teams, they could use another event like this to kind of, hold meetings, make partnerships, right? If any of you remember that video where Sakurai was talking about unveiling Sora and Smash Brothers and how that all went down, he mentioned that it was one of these events where he talked to, I forget it might be like the producer, the director of Kingdom Hearts, let me know in the comments below. He was able to kind of stop by and have a quick conversation with him at one of these events for, business just behind the closed doors, and that's how the partnership came along, and that's how we got Sora and Smash. So studios use these kinds of events without the media involved, without the public involved, to make these kind of transactions. And to be honest, it kind of sucks that the video game industry is so secretive, but like that's just the way it is right now. And so a lot of these studios could use these events to, you know, exchange knowledge and like create partnerships going forward. Like that is what a lot of these events are for. They're not meant to be for the public eye. They're not meant to be, even in this case, for media, it seems like. So yeah, there's the CEO of ESA, I guess, rapidly growing market. This is all very like bureaucratic stuff. So we're not really going to find any information here, but yeah, taking place 27th to 30th, 2026 at the Fontainebleau Resort in Las Vegas. There you go. Shout out. Was E3 in Las Vegas as well? I think it was, right? Let me know in the comments below. I thought it was. Which maybe that's where the ESA is like located. i2con, I'm calling it that, promises to bring together a broad spectrum of sectors that converge with. Okay, so this isn't even. Oh, interesting. So this isn't even just mentioning a broad spectrum of sectors that converge with interactive entertainment, including film, television, and music, as well as sports, healthcare, education, finance, and more. So this seems to be not even just video games necessarily. So it almost seems like the ESA, right? Because they're just Entertainment Software Association. That does include stuff like film and music. So maybe they're looking to broaden stuff up. You can sign up here. Exclusive events. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like different you know, like panels and stuff that people can look, but we really don't know much about this. So what does this mean, right? For those of us gamers, this means jack shit, right? This doesn't mean anything because we are not going to see, maybe we might hear some stuff leak out of i2con after the fact, but like, this is not meant for us, right? This is ESA kind of resetting, being like, let's focus only on the business, the industry, not even media supposedly. Let's focus on just that behind closed doors. So these, you know, not even just video games. We saw film, music, stuff like that. I didn't even realize that until I just read that website. That is mainly for them to discuss business dealings on their ends that we're not meant to know about, right? And that's okay. We don't need to know everything that's going on, you know? So no, that is not a replacement for E3, is the short answer to this. You know, I've seen some takes online that's like, oh, E3's coming back, but it's iicon or i2con as I'm calling it. No. Absolutely not. This is not a replacement for E3. Nowhere in that website does it have any resemblance of what could be E3, even necessarily the old E3. It seems to be more in line with something like a GDC, which we hear stuff come out from GDC, so it's possible. This seems like it might even be more closed than GDC, because are media allowed at GDC? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But it seems to be very much a closed door thing. The other interesting thing is that I want to call out here is the actual timing of when they're doing it. April 27th to 30th, because that is very much out of the way of Summer Games Fest. Not that these overlap, but I feel like that's still, you know, you probably wouldn't want to have these events overlap, right? ESA is not trying to compete with Jeff Keighley here. At this point, I don't know if they could. Jeff Keighley has a pretty strong hold, unfortunately, on, you know, the whole summer period now with Summer Games Fest, with actual media getting to go hands-on with these games and having the big presentation, as well as the Game Awards, of course, in December. But this is kind of a little out of the way to be like, okay, like this is still a good time for, you know, if developers want to come together and kind of learn a little bit. I believe, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe some of like the board members of ESA are from a lot of these companies. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I remember hearing about that. So it makes sense that, you know, these companies would be on board already with this. So, but I mean, hey, I mean, we'll probably see more companies join that. I'll be curious to see. I'll mainly be curious to see if we hear anything come out of i2con. I doubt it. You know, we're definitely not supposed to hear anything from it if they do leak out of this conference. But for now, this really means nothing. So originally I was going to make a YouTube short talking about this, but I kind of wanted to expand it in further detail to clarify, no, this is not a replacement for E3. When I first read the headline, that was my immediate thought. But then looking more into it, no, it is meant for studios. It's meant for publishers to convene in their own time and discuss, right? This is not meant for media coverage. This is not meant for, certainly not meant for the public eye to see. So, very closed door thing that, I mean, who knows, maybe something will come out of it. I hope the ESA doesn't do what they did with E3, where they open it up to the public, because that would just be stupid. It doesn't seem like they will. This is, I don't even think that there's not going to be any video presentations coming out of this, it seems like. So this is going to be, you know, a whole closed industry thing. That's all this means, right? So No, this is not replacing E3. No, this is not competing with Summer Games Fest. This is its own thing. If you're a developer, though, this is probably a big deal. If you're a publisher, this is a big deal for you to attend this event, you know, network a little bit, kind of share certain stuff. I'm sure you want to keep some stuff secret from other studios, but you know what I mean? It's really an industry event, so good for the developers and publishers for that. But I just wanted to clarify for most of you who are probably watching this, I assume are just, you know, consumers, gamers, and this does not apply to us. So just a little clarification there. But with that, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about ESA kind of doing a whole separate i2con, iicon, whatever you want to call it, event that is not for us, but kind of a whole separate thing that the industry will be able to utilize? Let me know your thoughts on this whole thing. And the downfall of E3, I guess, while we're talking about it, in the comments below. But otherwise, I will catch you all on the next video or live stream. Until then, keep on gaming.